The summer of 2019, it has a certain ring to it, doesn't it? Something like an introduction to an epic novel or a track title from an indie band. This was my hardest semester at NYU. I wouldn't credit it as the most overwhelming or the cheerful one, but rather as a crucial checkpoint in my journey. I was deep into the heart of my coursework and stood in front of the mirror every morning, wondering if the woman looking back was built to conquer the academic mountain that lay ahead. Assignments, exams, project deadlines, they all charged at me like a whirlwind, each spinning me deeper into the whirlpool of academic stress. The love for digital arts that brought me to NYU was being tested, and by the minute, the foundation was either solidifying or cracking. I couldn't tell. Yet I hung on. There was an indomitable spirit that refused to drown, refusing to be completely engulfed by the tides of sleepless nights and copious amounts of caffeine. Everything I knew, everything I had learned about digital art and streaming had to be applied and tested. The classroom was my laboratory, the assignments my experiments, and the final grades my evidence. There was no room for the uncertainty of outcomes, only the certainty of growth. Some days I felt like I was free-falling without a parachute. Other days I was soaring above the clouds, fueled by the wind beneath my own metaphorical wings. The dichotomy of it all, the tension, the swing from one extreme to another was paradoxically exhausting yet exhilarating. One question echoed in my head throughout all of this. Was it truly worth it? Was the decision to walk the path of digital arts, to tread the unknown terrain of VR design, virtual worlds, and live streaming, was it truly worth the resilience, the persistence it demanded? Yet, each time I questioned, each time I doubted, I found my answer in the little triumphs. Submitting an assignment just before the deadline, capturing a complex model successfully, slowly but steadily increasing my Twitch followers. Each was a verification. A miniature pat on the back reminding me, in its own subtle way, that I was on the right path. For every challenge, there was a victory. For every downfall, a moment of resurgence. This was not just another term, another academic phase. It was more than that. It was a narrative of slow transformation and self-discovery. It was a battleground where I fought my inner demons, tested the limits of my abilities, only to prove to myself that I was enough. The roller coaster had its lows, yes, but the uphill climbs were aptly rewarding, leaving me breathless yet craving more. The summer of 2019, it was a chapter out of my own epic saga. A narrative etched in my memory, smeared with tears, sweat, and smudged lines of erased sketches, yet gleaming with undeterred determination. It taught me lessons of resilience, made me savor the taste of triumph, and most importantly, led me a step closer to becoming the digital artist and Twitch streamer I aspired to be. The summer of 2019, it was indeed something, wasn't it? My coping mechanism has always been about diving into what I love the most, digital arts and live streaming. My stress level and workload were at an all-time high, but despite all odds, I found dabbling with my passion therapeutic. Searching for solitude and comfort to release the pent-up stress, my life took an unexpected turn when Ethan walked into my life. Ethan, a fellow streamer from Twitch, radiated the same passion towards digital arts as I possessed, making it easy for us to connect on a multitude of levels. We began dating in the early days of 2020. This was not an impulsive dive. It was more of a slow, steady kindling of shared sparks that eventually blazed into something substantial. The rapport was unlike anything that I had experienced before. Our shared love for streaming only drew us closer, rather than pushing us into the competitive arena of streamers. We'd stay up late discussing various streaming strategies, comparing notes, gaming, and dreaming big. The mutual respect for each other's career choices made our bond stronger. Often, we'd laugh at our quirky gaming habits, chuckling over the distinct difference in our gaming styles, yet finding common ground in shared games. Even our shared aspiration for success in the world of streaming struck a deep chord within us. In the midst of our blooming relationship, we managed to keep one another afloat in our academics. Using our love for digital arts as a lifeboat, we rode through the rough academic sea hand in hand, motivating and supporting each other to rise above the raging currents of challenges. There was solace in knowing that there was a shoulder to lean on, a person whose faith in my ability could rival my own. With Ethan by my side, I began to adopt a different outlook towards the struggles I faced. Exploring the digital world through our shared lens was enlightening, especially when it was often tinted with our collective sense of humor and ardent zeal. His understanding of my passion towards digital art, which was as devout as his own, created an unspoken bond that went beyond the common labels of a relationship. The world of digital arts is a journey of self-discovery, and as we ventured deeper into it, our shared passion acted as a beacon of light, even in the most overwhelming days of academic distress. Our intertwined paths in this digital realm stood as a testament to the way we were seamlessly fitting into each other's lives. At the end of the day, when exhaustion consumed me, I would find myself smiling at our shared dreams chiseled beautifully within the edifice of our love. Our mutual enthusiasm for digital arts and streaming magnetically drew us towards one another, binding us in ways that transcended mere relationships. In these months, a milestone event unfolded that only cemented our connection, both personally and professionally. We attended TwitchCon together in April 2020, an experience that left a lasting impact on both of us. Walking into the Grand Convention Hall, we were greeted by the electrifying buzz that resonates within a gathering of like-minded enthusiasts, brimming with a delightful mix of shared excitement and anticipation. The sight of leading streamers flaunting their prowess, the air echoing with tech-related jargon, the palpable passion that the attendees displayed for the art of streaming, it was a gamer's paradise, a digital utopia for enthusiasts like us. For me, TwitchCon wasn't just about being part of an event. It was a profound voyage into the immense universe of streaming where possibilities were boundless. I remember Ethan and I, starry-eyed and eager, poring over every booth, absorbing each detail, and listening attentively to the shared experiences of successful streamers. Little did we know then that this event would be our gateway into a new level of understanding about the streaming landscape. The convention was more than an eye-opener. It was a vault of insights, an ocean of understanding, and a beacon of inspiration for our streaming journey. The valuable know-how we picked up there enriched both our individual streams and the shared ones. Indeed, witnessing success stories and learning from established streamers awakened within us a fresh perspective on opportunities and obstacles. Absorbing their experiences and guidance, we returned from the convention enlightened and eager to apply our newfound knowledge. The TwitchCon experience undeniably triggered a transformation within us, as we emerged more connected in our love for digital arts and streaming, more confident, and definitely more aware of the vast landscapes of possibilities that lay ahead of us. In fast-paced worlds like ours, growth is contingent on continuous learning. And TwitchCon proved to be a prolific learning curve for both of us, providing us with fresh strategies, renewed aspirations, and a destination to strive towards. Being a part of it as a couple only deepened our bond and solidified our understanding of one another's career choices. Yes, TwitchCon was essentially the palette from which our shared dreams derived new shades and hues, coloring our lives with vivid aspirations and vibrant hopes. Returning home from TwitchCon, Ethan and I found ourselves mentally buzzing with ideas and inspiration. We were like kids who just visited a grand toy shop, joyously replaying the cherished memories, discussing interesting booths, and recounting inspirational success stories of the streamers we'd met. I found myself looking at things with a fresh perspective, as if the convention had not only opened my eyes, but also my mind. It was as if I'd truly discovered my tribe, my people, those who spoke my language and understood the relentless enthusiasm I nurtured for streaming and digital arts. It was a validation of sorts, endorsing me on this unconventional path I'd consciously chosen. My chats with the leading streamers had revealed the gaming industry's true scope, far exceeding what I initially anticipated. The myriad possibilities of using VR in gaming intrigued me, and I was eager to push boundaries as a digital artist. It opened up the door to a realm of myriad possibilities, mapping new paths and generating unique ideas for my streams and my course projects. Applying the insights from TwitchCon to my coursework at NYU, I began to see a marked improvement in my designs, in my understanding, and gradually, my grades. It was gradually becoming evident that the key to success in this evolving industry was an unerring combination of practical insight, aesthetic ability, and innovative thinking. Energized by this newfound direction and clarity, I began investing more time into honing my digital skills. I stayed up late nights, exploring every conceivable thematic design on my 3D modeling software, experimenting with multiple iterations, pushing the boundaries of my newly learned VR modeling techniques. Every new engagement was an exercise in self-discovery, as I reveled in the challenges and the resultant success of each tiny victory. Meanwhile, our Twitch streams echoed with echoing this change. Both Ethan and I started implementing the tactics we'd learned from the conference, integrating technical insights, and improving our streaming aesthetics. The reward was soon evident in the climbing numbers of our followers, and paired with the joy of our shared triumphs, strengthened our bond further. Life morphed into a contrasting blend of academic pressures and escalating dreams, a wild but exciting ride through the uncharted terrains of intensive NYU coursework and immersive VR explorations. I realized what an exhilarating privilege it is to lose oneself in work that is also one's passion, and finding idle joy in the meticulous details. Whatever the challenges, learning how to navigate them and holding tight to my dreams seeped every day in adrenaline, sprouting wings to my ambitions and bringing me a step closer to who I was growing to become. My coursework was demanding, but then came the golden opportunity. I signed up for a project to create a virtual reality, VR environment as part of a team at NYU. I jumped at the challenge, fascinated by the endless possibilities the platform offered. Together with a talented team of fellow students, we brainstormed ideas, pushing our creativity and utilizing the skills we had amassed throughout the semester. Creating this VR environment was nothing short of an exhilarating adventure. Right from design conceptualization, 3D asset creation, user experience considerations, to the final implementation in VR, every phase was an intricate puzzle that put our team's collective talents to the test. The project was demanding, requiring us to think outside the box, always pushing the boundaries of our innovation, and often working late into the night, unnoticed by the ticking clock. But I thrived amidst this chaos, the complexity igniting a spark within me. The more I delved into the project, the deeper my fascination grew with the immersive digital landscapes we could construct. There was something inherently captivating about creating a world from scratch, a world not bound by physics or reality, a world molded entirely from our collective imaginations. The VR headset was my canvas, and the programming code my paintbrush. A sense of complete freedom washed over me, a liberation from the bounds of reality, a joyous exploration into boundless creativity. The sense of accomplishment I felt when we finally completed the project was unparalleled. I can't exactly pinpoint that euphoria. Was it admiration for the dazzling VR realm we had created, or rather the pride of successfully navigating uncharted waters? Perhaps it was a melting pot of emotions. Seeing our creativity and hard work come to life in the form of this interactive 3D world was utterly gratifying. But more importantly, it fueled my desire to delve deeper into this field. This project was a turning point. It not only fortified my love for digital arts, but also cemented my decision to make a career out of it. I was determined. I had always wanted my work to be an extension of my passion, and I found that in digital art. With a growing sense of purpose, I began dreaming about the possibilities, building immersive virtual realms in gaming, boosting my streaming success on Twitch, and establishing a unique identity as a VR designer in this fast-paced industry. As the months progressed, everything started aligning. My academics, my Twitch streaming, my focus on VR. The exposure to these different facets of digital artistry paid off in an unexpected way, further stimulating my interest in VR. This curiosity steered me towards an unusual but fundamental decision: to chase the thrill of creating immersive environments full-time. I wanted to dedicate my future to VR designing and Twitch streaming, two domains that had started to feel like home. The exhaustive exploration of digital arts that NYU offered provided the groundwork, and the rich VR project experience ignited my drive for a career pivot. Even ordinary everyday tasks began seeming extraordinary when visualized through the lens of VR. I knew this was the start of something big. I was at the cusp of an extraordinary journey, and this chapter of my life marked the beginning of my transformation from Amy Lai, the NYU student, to Amy Lai, the professional VR designer and Twitch streamer. It was just the spark I needed. My passion for creating 3D environments ramped up, and the commitment to make it a full-time career began characterizing me. Each step I took, every decision I made, even the choice of video games I played on Twitch started revolving around this newfound aspiration. It almost felt like I was living in a dream, so much so that the harsh realities of life, the breakup, the academic obligations, seemed to fade away whenever I wore my VR headset. The myriad of possibilities and the potential impact of my work made me even more resilient towards the idea. My decision was not a shot in the dark. It was a leap of confidence into the realm of infinite possibilities powered by technology. I trusted my instincts and was prepared to test the waters unlike ever before. The routine of attending classes, working on assignments, streaming on Twitch was about to change, and I was ready, thrilled even, at the prospect. Embracing a future full of unknown challenges felt liberating, almost like getting a new lease of life. You see, once you've experienced a world stripped of conventions, a world limited only by your imagination, you're never the same again. It's like stargazing. Once you've peered into the cosmos, the earthly concerns seem to dissipate into the ether. And so, while the weight of academics still hovered above me, my mind was already far beyond the walls of NYU, exploring the uncharted territories of 3D and VR design. Despite the boundless enthusiasm for my new calling, balancing my academic coursework and ambitious pursuits was undoubtedly demanding. Each day for me was a whirlwind of lectures, projects, design experiments, and streaming sessions. My life became a juggling act, and whenever I felt overwhelmed, I recalled the multicultural ethos of my childhood neighborhood. You see, growing up in such a vibrant environment, I was no stranger to commotion and different channels vying for my attention. Just like my neighborhood, I divided my finite attention between different creative pathways. One of the largest challenges emerged in the form of the occasional overwhelming feeling of juggling all these elements at once. At times, it felt like being in a race with myself. One minute, I would be racing against the clock to meet assignment deadlines, and the next, I would be anticipating the rush of my streaming session or visualizing VR landscapes. The late-night cramming, the blink-and-you-miss-it moments from gaming, the feeling of accomplishment while mastering a new digital art software. It was a lot. The golden rule from Buddhism, the middle path, often helped me to keep my sanity. Buddhism wasn't just my religion, it was my compass in navigating this turbulence. Whenever I found myself stuck between my academic obligations and career aspirations, I chose neither to overly indulge nor completely abandon either one of them. The essence of the middle path taught me to appreciate the harmony between challenging coursework and exciting projects. From Buddha's teachings, I learned to treat these seemingly contrasting aspects of my life not as obstacles, but as stepping stones on my path to fulfillment. Despite the seemingly unending to-do lists and the constant threat of feeling overwhelmed, the journey was exhilarating. I started streaming from scratch and soon began connecting with countless like-minded individuals from different parts of the world. Sharing my passion for gaming, discussing new technological advancements, receiving feedback, and learning from my audience made every moment worthwhile. It was a process of continuous engagement, evolution, and an amazing privilege to experience a global interchange of ideas right from my cozy corner in New York. Between the stress of dealing with code glitches, tight project deadlines, and academic assignments, moments of relief came in the form of appreciative comments from my viewers, the thrill of a design turning out just right, or simply from the joy of learning something new in class. There were nights when my mind was buzzing with ideas for my Twitch stream, even while I pored over lecture notes. And there were times when I was knee-deep into academic reading, but couldn't help think about designs for my next VR environment. Each such moment, though exhausting, was also exhilarating in its way, reminding me of the unconventional path I was carving for myself with every choice I made. Though trying, this period was filled with immense growth and learning. I learned to cope with stress better, to manage my time, and to be more patient with myself. I learned that the key to dealing with stressful times was not to avoid it, but to face it, embrace it, and learn from it. This realization not only helped me manage my academic pressures and professional projects, but also shaped how I approached my paths to come.